Top of the morning to you. Welcome to ConsumerHallaTV News at 8. Let's begin the day with the headlines. Federal government grant Air Tanzanian permit to begin direct flight. Nigerian elected Vice President of American Petroleum Geologist in Africa. NHPC profit drops from 905 billion to 185 billion naira in July. Thank you so much for joining us this morning at ConsumerHallaTV News at 8. Let's swing into the day's stories as we start with the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, as they record a substantial decline in its profit after tax, dropping from 905 billion naira in June to 185 billion naira in July. And this represents a staggering 79.6% decrease in profit. The company in its monthly report released late on Thursday of the previous week said it recorded 4.41 trillion naira in July, down from 4.57 trillion in the previous month. However, following previous report, NNPC profit after tax in June was 905 billion naira, down from 1.05 trillion naira in May, and it was 926 billion naira in April. The July figure marked a significant decline, even as oil production rose marginally from 1.68 million barrels per day to 1.7 million barrels per day. Also, natural gas production was 7.7 billion cubic feet compared to 7.58 last month. The payment from January to June was 7.97 trillion naira, and the NNPC report showed significant strides in infrastructure development as the AKK and OB3 gas pipeline project hit 96 and 83% completion levels respectively. Also, upstream pipeline availability remains strong at 100%. Talking about the news better on its strategic efforts, the NNPC said it is sustaining crude oil and also will condensate production, improving the uptime of production facilities, and continue stakeholders' collaboration and operational efficiency, while executing strategy towards expedited completion of the OB3 River Niger crossing. Moreover, the 113-kilometer portion of the OB3 gas pipeline has been commissioned and is following about 300 of gas from the following gas producers: HL250 Platform Chorus and X-Energy Development. Meanwhile, it was also said this allow individuals to check estimated tax under the new law against what was currently paid. In summary, this clearly shows how those reforms protect low-income earners, ensure progress, and simplify compliance to deliver a transparent system that works for all. Let's move into another direction elsewhere. A fintech company, eTransact International PLC, in partnership with the Enterprise Development Center at Pan Atlantic University, has launched a report to improve small and medium enterprises' status in the adoption of artificial intelligence (AI) to grow their businesses locally and internationally. The Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of eTransact, Mr. Niyi Toluwalokpe, spoke on the report titled AI Readiness of Nigerian SMEs. During the launch, Mr. Niyi Toluwalokpe said eTransact views AI not as a distant prospect but as an immediate opportunity for Nigerian businesses. A statement reads, and I quote, "The research bridged the knowledge gap by helping SMEs understand their current AI adoption status and what they need to compete both locally and globally." The study also reinforces eTransact's expanding role as it enables its digital growth and innovation beyond just payments. Explaining for the research, the report offers SMEs a fact-based assessment of their AI readiness, guiding informed investment and capacity building decisions. He added that the findings serve as a strategic blueprint to enhance competitiveness, job creation, and innovation-driven economic growth for Nigeria. However, he also highlighted that policymakers, financiers, and educators will be better equipped with data in the report to design support programs tailored to SMEs. The federal government, through the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, has declared that the country is firmly on course to ramp up crude oil output to 2.5 million barrels per day by 2026, following a strategy to unlock deep water potentials, revive dormant fields, and accelerate approvals for new projects. The federal government also announced the completion of a case-by-case review of the marginal field licensing that are due for renewal. The chief executive of NUPRC, Benga Komalafe, stated this on Thursday at the just concluded previous week in Abuja, while delivering his goodwill message at the 2025 Gas and Energy and Labour Summit, with the team building a resilient oil and gas sector in Nigeria. Advancing HSE ESG investment and increased production, Mr. Benga Komalafe said, and I quote his statement, energy transition is gathering pace across the world, and global investment in low-carbon energy not only exceeded $1.7 trillion in 2023, but surpassing fossil fuel investment for the first time in history, but also surged by an additional 24% in 2024, reaching an 2.1 trillion naira. Despite this shift, Mr. Gbenga Komalafe stressed that hydrocarbons would remain central to global energy demand for decades, especially in Africa and Asia. The NUPRC boss was honored with an award at the event disclosed that reforms under the Petroleum Industry Act 2021 and recent presidential executive orders reposition Nigeria as an attractive investment destination by causing average contracting cycles from 36 months to 6 months and offering competitive fiscal terms. He reviewed further that the Commission, working with operators and service firms, was spearheading a 1 million barrels per day initiative to drive increased production. He explained that the new cluster and nodal development strategy would help reduce costs, shorten timelines, and risk investment using shared infrastructure and tiebacks to FPSOs such as Bonga and Agbami. Meanwhile, Gbenga Komalafe said the reactivation of dormant field, accelerated approvals, and development of improved recovery techniques have already increased production from a 1.46 million barrels per day baseline in October 2024 to 1.8 million barrels today, adding that with this momentum, we're firmly on track to reach our 2.5 million barrels per day target by 2026. On the energy transition, Gbenga Komalafe said Nigeria is not ignoring global climate concerns, but will adopt a gas-centric pathway. Let's leave that story. Now let's talk about an interesting story about Nigeria. A Nigerian man, Mr. Sheyeko, has now been elected as the Vice President of the American Association of Petroleum Geologists Africa region for the term of the 1st of July 2025 to the 30th of June 2026. According to a statement by AAPG Africa region on last week Wednesday, Sheyeko joined the association in 2000 as a full voting member and had held several leadership positions, including treasurer of the Africa region between 2020 and 2022. He also coordinated the AAPG Imperial Barrel Award programs and as well organized the first AAPG Geoscience Technology Workshop in Africa, and had been a member of the Enhancing Mature Field Life Cycles Committee since 2017. Previous statement also added that Sheyeko was recognized this year for 25 years of membership and received AAPG Distinguished Service Award in 2023, noting that he also served as a certified petroleum geologist with the Division of Professional Affairs between 2020 and 2023. So talking about the news, the association said now stepping into the role of Vice President Sheyeko is poised to lead a community that spans more than 18,000 members in 94 countries. The association also described his appointment as a celebration of a career built on passion, volunteerism, and the pursuit of excellence in geoscience, and expressed optimism that his leadership would energize the Africa region, inspire innovative projects, and support the AAPG mission to foster scientific inquiry and promote sustainable practices across the continent. That's an impressive one there, talking about hard work and consistency pays. Let's move the news on, where the federal government has formally presented the foreign carrier operation permit to Air Tanzania Company Limited at the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development headquarters in the FCT, Abuja. The permanent secretary of the ministry, Ibrahim Kana, was represented by Ahmed Mohamed, said this in a statement that the initiative aim is to enhance operational efficiency, safety, and collaboration between Nigeria and the United Republic of Tanzania in the aviation sector. The statement says, and I read, the federal government has presented the foreign carrier operation permit to Air Tanzanian Company Limited, the Ministry of Aviation and Aerospace Development Headquarters, Abuja. The statement also explained that the FCOP will standardize procedures ensuring seamless interactions and efficient operations between Nigeria and Tanzanian aviation stakeholders while aligning with international best practice. Meanwhile, Ibrahim Kana said the presentation of FCOP to Air Tanzanian Company Limited is a significant step in its effort to promote aviation cooperation and excellence. He also said, we are confident that this initiative will yield positive outcomes for both nations. According to him, the initiative aligns with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led federal government efforts to promote regional integration and cooperation in West Africa and beyond. Ibrahim Khan assured Tanzanian officials of Nigeria's readiness to provide all the need to operate and instructed them to liaise with all the agencies in the ministry to meet their needs. Let's talk bank matters this minute. First City Monument Bank Group PLC has announced plans to raise fresh equity capital through an offer for subscription following shareholder approval at its extraordinary general meeting held on the 19th of December 2024. In a statement released to the Nigerian Exchange, the company said the move is part of its strategy to strengthen its capital base in anticipation of both regional and international expansion. According to Nairametrics, proceeds from the equity raise will be injected as additional capital into its flagship subsidiary, First City Monument Bank Limited. The board disclosed that the pricing of the offer will be based on the prevailing market price, with a discount structure to make the offer attractive to investors. Still talking about the news, full details include the size, structure, and timeline of the capital raise, which will be made public once regulatory approval is secured from the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC. Thank you so much for joining us. This is ConsumerHallaTV News at 8. Let's push the news further. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria, FAN, has resumed direct revenue collection at the cargo terminals of Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos State for the first time in 15 years. The disclosure was conveyed in a statement signed by Mrs. Obiageli Ora, FAN's Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, and posted on the authority X formerly Twitter account on Saturday during the weekend, August 22 of 2025. FAN officials from the Directorate of Cargo Development and Services are now stationed at the cargo release point of the Nigerian Aviation Handling Company and Skyway Aviation Handling Company warehouses to oversee real-time collection of acquired cargo charges. The Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria has recorded also a landmark achievement with the successful resumption of direct revenue collection at the cargo terminals of Murtala Mohammed International Airport after a 15 years hiatus. Thank you so much. Now we've come to the end of ConsumerHallaTV News at 8. But before we go this morning, let's bring you the major headlines we had when we started the news. We told you first this morning that federal government grant Air Tanzania permit to begin direct flights. We also told you this interesting story that Nigerian elected Vice President of American Petroleum Geologist in Africa. That's a very interesting one, I must say. It's a definition of hard work and consistency. We also told you this morning that NNPC profit drops from 905 billion to 885 billion in July. Thank you so much for listening to the news this morning. I am Iri Hayomikunle. Please join me at 12 for the midday news. Bye for now.
My name is Tunde Olufowora. I'm the CEO of Bandai Communications. We are we call the publisher or the owner of the new initiative called ConsumerHallaTV. ConsumerHallaTV is actually Nigeria's first consumer-centered, or called a consumer-centric television platform that aims to bring voice to the over 220 million Nigerians. It was a vision that came to my heart about 10 years ago. I remember that I was traveling. I traveled out of the country, on airline, and I had this unpleasant experience. It was a trip to an African country from Nigeria, and I actually went with a local flight from Nigeria. I wouldn't want to mention the name of the airline, and then it was to South Africa, and we landed in South Africa, and let me just paraphrase it. When I was coming back, I had some money, some dollars, and that someone had given to me to hand over to another person in Nigeria. So I wanted to help out. I didn't want to carry the cash on myself. So for whatever reason, I opted to. I had a small case, and I felt that it was safer for me to put the money in my luggage. So I put it in a safe place in my luggage, got everything intact, and I checked in my luggage. My arrival in Nigeria, I was standing and was waiting about the carousel just so that I could pick up my luggage, and then I was there for 1 hour and waiting for my luggage. I didn't know that my luggage already arrived, and it was one of the luggage that was moving around on the carousel. So after about 1 hour wait, I looked to my left and my right. Almost everybody had gone. I think there were just about 2 or 3 left. So I beckoned on the woman that was on my side, and I noticed she was really in tears. Madam, what happened? She said, her bag has just been torn and a lot of things stolen. So I said, well, I've also been waiting for my own. She said, you better go and check those luggages there. Maybe yours is one of them. And lo and behold, I went around there. Mine was one of them. By the time I got it, everything inside my luggage was gone. All the valuable things there were gone. To cut the long story short, we felt there was need for us to report the case, at least to the airline. It was in the night, about 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. We went in to go and see the officer that was in charge. As soon as we got in there, the officer said, "Oh, so sorry, but you will have to go to our head office in somewhere in Victoria Island, to lodge a complaint." Okay. So the next day we went to the Victoria Island and we lodged a complaint, and that was it. And since that day, I'm talking a story of over 10 years ago, I didn't get a call, not even a call from that airline to talk to me about what happened to my luggage. Now, about a month after that trip, I had another opportunity to travel out of the country. This time around it was to US, and it was an official assignment. And I flew on, I will mention the airline this time around. I flew on a BA. I really didn't like BA. I usually go with Virgin Atlantic and things like that. But my protocol officer convinced me and said, "Okay, you will love BA. Why don't you go on BA?" Anyway, so I went on BA to US. And of course, when I returned from US to Nigeria, we had to do, of course, there'll be like a connecting flight, from Heathrow. So we got into London Heathrow, and then because it was through Heathrow that we went, and then so they changed since it was BA, they changed the aircraft this time around to a bigger one. I mean, clearly because there were more Nigerians, more people that were planning to come to Nigeria, and then we boarded. Not quite 10 minutes into the flight, in the air, the aircraft started malfunctioning. The air conditioning compartment were not functioning very well. I was on what you call business economy. You know, the whole of that business economy all the way to economy side, the ACs were not working well. It was hot, and then I was watching, and then from that moment till we got to Nigeria. From that moment till we got to, I'm just trying to paraphrase. From that moment till we got to Nigeria, I could remember very well how many times the pilot, broke into conversation and had to apologize and say, "We're really very sorry about this." He was giving us almost every 30 minutes. There's always a kind of update. "So sorry, this is what we're doing now, this is what we're doing." While we were on that journey, I also remember an incident. So they came, the crew apparently couldn't resolve it. They couldn't manage the crisis or what was going on about it. They couldn't fix it. So they come up and said, "We're so sorry, but for all the inconvenience, we're declaring, free lunch, free whatever it is you want, you can get." So trust Nigerians, you need to hear how everybody were jubilating, But something struck me. The experience I had just about a month before, and this experience, somehow I started comparing them. I was trying to see how this matter will be managed. Again, to cut the story short, we landed in Nigeria on BA. Before we landed, the pilot announced and said that for the inconvenience, they will be giving a voucher of £50 to everyone that flew on that aircraft. I thought it was a joke. I mean, it was my first time with BA, but for what I knew or know of the British man would never even play with his 1 penny, talking of £1. So I felt that must be a joke of the year. So we left. I got back to my office. I think it was just about a week after. My officer, our guys in our mail room came up and said, "Oh, you have a parcel." So I said, "Parcel? Yeah." So they brought this parcel wrapped. I opened it, and boom, I brought the document out. It was the £50 voucher from BA. So what's the tenor of this story? An experience with one airline was terrible, no apology. An experience with another one, even though it was a bad experience, but it was very well managed. So managed that even if we have suffered anything in that aircraft, you probably, for the sake of how they manage it, will have forgiven them. So that was how this journey started. So I started thinking, my mind, this is what we go through in this country. But are we different from other nations? So God put in my heart the idea of ConsumerHalla. That's why the Hala came with consumer. And we started that journey about 10 years ago. We started by creating a platform called ConsumerHalla, where consumers, so I discovered that Nigerian consumers don't have a voice. So things happen, and that's it. We live with everything. So we've started the journey from creating the platform. We have an app, we even have a magazine, and we thought we could move it from that to the next stage, which is the television. So the TV today, has come. So I would say precept by precept, line upon line, we have been able to build on our aspiration, to finally bring to birth this unique an exciting platform, you know. So it's a digital telecast, and our goal is to further connect consumers in Nigeria to brands with insightful news, development within the fast-paced world of consumers. The world of consumers is growing at a very fast pace, you know. So we want to inform Nigerians. We want to get them educated about their rights, you know. So our role is that we're going to educate consumers in Nigeria, all right. So by bringing them specialized and what you call analytical, research-based content generation that will inform, educate, sensitize the audience, you know. So that's ConsumerHallaTV. So I call it an offshoot of our ConsumerHalla brand. ConsumerHalla brand actually was the first we call it the first complaint or consumer complaint resolution portal. When we started it about 10 years ago, or about 7 years ago, it became the first complaint resolution portal. We created it so that Nigerians can actually lodge complaint on that portal. We spent a lot of resources to build a very robust platform where today, if you have any complaint, you know, about any brand, any leading brands in Nigeria, and you go on that platform, you can actually click, just a click, you can find the brand, you can actually lodge your complaint, and once you submit it, that complaint will be routed to that organization, and within 72 hours, we will obtain feedback for you. We build it in such a way that we have connection to almost all the organizations, and it's been working. We've resolved several complaints for people without having to charge them any penny, because the idea is not to charge, you know. So what we have done with ConsumerHallaTV is to take it to the next level. So we hope to you know, change the narrative. We want to give, you know, the right direction. You know, Nigeria has the largest consumer market in the world, with a population of over 220 million people. Why should we be the one that is suffering the most? Everywhere you turn to, it's as though Nigerian consumers don't have a voice. You're traveling, you know, you buy a ticket. For whatever reason, an airline will wake up middle of the night, delay the flight for whatever reason, and then you'll be waiting at the airport for hours. You'll be there for 2 hours, 3 hours, no any explanation. Then while you're there, they can even wake up and say, oh, flight has been cancelled. So everybody carry their luggage and go home. Nothing happened. Of course, things are changing. We must commend government, because government is beginning to wake up, but there's still a lot to be done. And we believe that we can help to make, you know, bring about those right changes. So we offer deliberately, part of what we do is that we also offer advocacy. All right, we're not just an advocacy organization, but we offer advocacy. We have a legal team. We have lawyers that are registered on our platform, all right, that can also take up cases. Okay, so and we've taken up many cases like that, you know, and won those cases. So ConsumerHalla is a platform to help consumers to we're not fighting brands, but rather we say we're bringing about an amicable, you know, resolution of conflict, such that it will be beneficial to the consumers, and also be beneficial to the brand, you know.
It's another beautiful day, and you're welcome to another beautiful episode of Market today on ConsumerHallaTV. I am Matilda Omenai. As you already know, Market Today is a show where we'll be visiting different markets across Nigeria to check, track, and compare the prices of different commodities that they sell. Commodities ranging from foodstuffs to electronics to cosmetics, name it, anything. And now today we are live at Agege Main Market located at Lagos, Nigeria, to come and check the prices of different foodstuffs that they sell. It's going to be an interesting episode, so come with me as we find out.
Good morning, ma. How are you doing?
I'm cool. Good morning to you.
Okay, so what do you sell in this market?
My name is Chief Mrs. Niniola Karim, aka Bafolo, the number 6 of the whole Agege Main Market. So I sell cola nuts, native cola, I sell goro, I sell bitter cola, I sell alligator pepper, wine, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so for how long have you been selling this in this market?
For the past 20 years.
20 years?
Yes.
Okay, so how has market been from that time up till now?
For the past 20 years, market is good and well. But this time around, the market is somehow. So we are just manage.
Okay, so what are the things that this cola nut does in the body? What's it?
We sell cola nut. They use it for the traditional wedding, ceremony, coronation, naming ceremony, and so on.
Okay, so how do you sell it? How is the measurement?
I sell baskets. I sell 100 pieces. I sell more than that.
Okay, so price. Give us the price.
If a basket now is 250,000 for the native cola. White goro is 150,000 naira basket.
Okay, so if you want to buy in small quantity, how do you sell it?
I sell like 5,000. If I want to sell 50 pieces for native cola, we sell 20,000, 25,000, more than that. So bitter cola starting from 3,000, 50 pieces, 4,000, and so on and so forth. So goro, that's a Hausa cola nut. There is 3,000 naira per 50. There is 10,000 naira per 50, and so on.
Okay, so now let's focus on the small quantities. Now you've told me the price on which you used to sell. As at last month, did you sell it for the same price?
Yes.
Okay, so what makes the price of this cola nuts to go up, to increase?
We have the season of the sales, the cola nuts. We have the season, and fuel scarcity now is too expensive. So that is why it's expensive.
Okay, where did they bring it from?
East, bitter cola from East, native cola and alligator pepper from Ekiti, Ijare, Ijesha, and so on.
Okay. So what are the challenges you face selling this in this market?
A lot of challenges, but for today, I thank God. Sure, you understand? For today, we thank God for it.
Okay, so how is selling in this market like for you? You know, there are other people that sell the same thing that you sell. So how do you sell your own things?
We people that we are selling this market, most of us, we are family. We fight, we settle it. So that is how we do it.
So the customers still come like before?
It's not like that, but we are eating. Sure, so that is it.
So is there anything you want to tell the government?
Okay. What I want to tell government, they should please and please. Many things is expensive now. They should reduce it for us because we have children. Sure, you understand? Before we eat, before we pay transport, before we pay house rent, everything is too cost. So we are begging government that they should please know everything for us. So that is what I want to know.
All right, thank you very much, ma. Good morning. How are you doing, ma?
I'm fine.
Okay, so what's your name?
Opeyemi Onifade.
Okay, so what do you sell in this market?
Mo ta ẹja tútù.
Okay, so how has business been since the beginning of this year?
Ọjà yẹn ló ti wọ́n jù o. Ọjà wọ́n gan. Àbẹ̀ ìjọba kọ́jọ torí Ọlọ́run kọ́ ẹ̀pù wà gbogbo ọjà wọn o. Ó ní agbára gan. Ó ní iye tá à ń ra ẹja nísìn. Ó ní iye tá à tẹ́tẹ̀lé ó ní iye tá à ń ra nísìn. Ó wọ́n o.
Okay, so can you tell us like the different prices of this fish that you sell?
Okay, this one Ojúyọbọ, this one croaker, this one Ọ̀wẹ̀rẹ̀, this one miss.
Okay, so
This
tell us
one
the
original
price.
Titus.
The price.
Original Titus, that is 180. The carton. Croaker, that is 95. Croaker, Ọ̀wẹ̀rẹ̀ 40,000. Miss 90,000. Òtò bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ o. Ọjà yẹn ti wọ́n jù o. Ó ti kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ o.
Okay, so if you want to sell one for people that come to the market, like how do you sell it?
And Titus ẹyọ kan 4,000. Titus ẹyọkan 5,000, kúrókà ẹyọkan 7,000, ojúyọbọ 4,000, ọ̀wẹ̀rẹ̀ 4,000, 5,000 ẹyọkan.
What's the cheapest price for fish in this market? The cheapest fish you can get?
Fish ọkọ no ship o. Ó lè ṣàwà gan kò ship. Gbogbo ẹ̀ ló wọ́n o, kò sí tó ship bẹ́ẹ̀ o.
So now you've told me the price of these fishes, like you told me the price. Now, as of last month, did you sell for the same price?
No.
As of last month, what was the price?
The last year.
Last month.
I dey buy that croaker. I dey buy 80,000. 95. Original Titus before 80,000, 90,000. I dey buy am now 180, 170. Ojuyobo 30,000. Now 50,000. She dey buy Ojuyobo now.
So what makes the price increase like this?
I don't know.
Okay, so where do you go to get all this fish that you sell?
I dey go Ijora. I dey go Abattoir. For everywhere I dey sell the fish.
Okay. So how has market been since the beginning of the year for you?
Kò sọ́jà o, no market o. Everything cost. Nobody wan buy fish again.
For how long have you been selling fish in this market?
Yeah, if I look at now, 15 years.
15 years.
Yes.
So if you compare that time that you started selling fish, that's like years ago, and now, how has the business been? Is it the same? Was the former one better than how it is right now?
Ti tẹ́lẹ̀ ó better di sin yo. Ti tẹ́lẹ̀ ọjà táwọn ta tẹ́lẹ̀ ó better di sin dànù. Ó better o.
Okay. So selling in this market, do you face any challenges selling fish in this market? You know that there are a lot of people that sell the same thing that you sell in this market.
Yes.
So what are the kind of problems you face in this market selling this fish?
Challenge plenty o. Plenty. Sometimes if you no light, market go spoil. Na light na you dey take am sell market. Tó bá ti síná ọjà máa bàjẹ́. No be me only me like dey market. I plenty inside market wey dey sell that fish.
Okay, so is there anything you want the government to do for you in this market?
Make e help us o. All the market make e get down. Ibo ọjà kó wálẹ̀, tọ́jà bá wálẹ̀, àwọn náà lè fóúnjẹ sẹ́nu, àwọn náà lè bọ̀ síta, àlè bẹ̀pẹ̀ gbé. Ọjà yẹn tí wọ́n jù kọjọ kọ́ ẹ̀pù wa, ọjà tí wọ́n jù ó ti kọjá bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Kọjọ torí Ọlọ́run kọjọ abẹ wọn ni o, gbogbo ọjà yẹn kó wálẹ̀, ọjà tí wọ́n jù o.
Thank you very much, ma. Thank you. So we have heard what Ms. Okoyemi had to say concerning the prices of fish that she sells in Agege market. She has told us different types of fish she sells, and she has given us different prices ranging from Titus to Shawa to Ojuyobo, as she called it. And she has also called on the government to come and intervene and make the prices of this fish to come down so that more customers can locate them in the market. So come with me as we talk to other traders. Good morning, ma. How you doing?
It's fine.
Okay, so what's your name, ma?
My name is Fumilayo Adekola.
Okay, so Miss Fumilayo, what do you sell in this market?
Market is 1,000, 2,500.
Okay. What is the name of what you sell in this market?
This one is dry pepper, dry tatashe, dry tomatoes.
So how has market been since the beginning of this year for you?
Now market is dull, no market. So this one is fresh one is there. This dry one no market. Now.
So you said the price is 1,000 naira, Abi. So as of last month, did you sell it for 1,000 naira?
Last month, 1,000 a day, 500 a day, 200 self a day.
So what makes the price go up? What makes the price increase?
Yeah. Season day.
Okay.
Get season.
So when is the season?
Anytime. For fresh pepper, because this one you go move.
Okay. So for how many years have you been selling this in this market?
Don't tell. Don't tell.
Okay, so if you compare the business that time and now, is that time better than now, or now it's better than before?
This time no better. That is better than this one.
Okay, so as at that time, how much did you sell? How much were you selling dry pepper?
For bag?
Yeah.
40,000, 30,000.
So how much much is bag now?
Now it's 200,000.
200,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what are the challenges you face selling this thing? The problems you face selling it in this market? You know that there are other people that sell the same thing that you sell in this market.
Now only the same thing now. Now more than that they sell am for.
Thank you very much, ma. We have heard what Mrs. Funilaya had to say concerning the dried pepper and dried tomatoes that she sells in the market. According to her, she has been selling this for a very long time, and she has compared the price of how she sold it back then and now. And of course, back then was better than now. She has also complained about how they do not get customers like before. So come with me, let's talk to other traders in this market. Good morning, ma.
Good morning, ma.
So what's your name?
My name is Mrs. Azizat Akinde.
Okay, so what do you sell in this market?
I'm selling frozen food, as you can see. These chicken rings, robot chicken rings. This one is chicken gizzard. These are robot laps. Let me bring that for you.
Okay, ma.
This turkey.
Okay. So can you tell us the different prices of these things that you showed us?
We have different types of frozen chicken. So these chicken rings, we call it chicken rings or robot. These are robot chicken rings. The big size, right? This one is 1 kilo, 6,000. While we have the smaller size, the kilo is 6,000 as well. The one I shade is 115. I shade that one because it's not everybody that can afford the kilo price. Sure, you understand. Why this one is fingers, turkey fingers. That one also is 1.5. I have the big size inside. The kilo is 6,000. Let me bring it out.
Okay, ma.
It's big turkey finger, 6,000 naira per kilo. Why this one is normal laps, 5,005 per kilo. This is the small size of turkey finger, so the kilo is 5,005.
Now all these prices that you've told me, as of last month, did you sell for the same price?
Yes.
Okay. So all the times that the prices of chicken and turkey has gone up, what usually causes the price to increase?
Most of the time is from the put on, maybe the exchange rate of the money, or maybe the transport fare, the money, the increasement of the transport fare, or the exchange rate.
So how has business been since the beginning of this year for you?
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. I thank God Almighty.
Do the customers still come like before?
Yes, of course.
For how long have you been selling it in this market?
Yeah, it's been long. It's my mom business.
Okay.
So it's been long.
Okay, so if you compare that time that you started and now, which one is better? With sales, let's use sales to compare.
Then it's my mom that runs the business. So then I'm still with my mom. So most of the time when my mom asks me, oh yeah, address the shop here, I can say that okay, let me help you to sell the market, so I can steal money. But now I'm the one that is doing it, so I can't do that anymore since it's my business now.
Okay. So what are the challenges you face selling this in this market?
The challenges that is there is light, the issue of light. So once there is light, it's a fine business. Yes.
So is there anything you want the government to do for you in this market?
The only thing they can do for us is maybe they should help us to talk to the customs about the way they seize our goods. That's the only thing. Because the exchange of rates is, we use dollar here, why there they use SEFA. Sure, you understand.
So when you want to buy, like how much do you used to buy?
It depends on the money you have with you. It depends.
So do you sell carton here?
Yes, of course.
How much you sell your own in carton?
The carton the prices is very. Like but now, I sell the carton 50, 49. It depends on how you see the market, how you buy the market. Sure, you understand. Why the turkey I sell it 78, 79. The turkey finger 59, 58. The full chicken is 55. Sure, and I sell Nigeria chicken as well.
So that there are a lot of people that sell this thing. they sell chicken and turkey in this same market. So how are you coping with the competition, the whole competition and all?
There's no competition. You sell your own, they will sell their own. That is it.
All right, thank you very much, ma.
You are welcome.
Thank you so much. Good morning, ma.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay.
Good morning, ma.
Roma.
Okay. What do you sell in this market?
Come. Agbado.
What's your name? Tell us your name first.
My name is Olatidoye, Mrs. Tony Olatidoye.
So how has business been for you since the beginning of this year?
It took us. It cost too much. Last year, the bag, one bag, I buy 5,000. But yeah, 25,000. Small bag, yo. Small bag, 5,000. It took us. See the one way I share. 1,000 naira. 1,000. The cook one. Last year, I sell am 50 naira, 100 naira. But now, yeah, 200. 200. The gas, because everything costs for Nigeria now. I beg you, everything took us.
Okay, ma. So for how long have you been selling corn in this market?
7 years.
7 years? If you compare that 7 years that you started and now, how is business like?
The business now, no enjoy. I no enjoy at all. I no enjoy because it took us.
If you could tell the government, what will you tell the government now? What will you tell the government to do for you?
Every time the government say everything costs you for market, you make it everything, make it come down. Make it come down. It took us too much. I beg.
Eshema, thank you, ma. We have heard what Mrs. Tony had to say concerning the price of corn. She has complained bitterly about how the increase in the price of corn has reduced the number of customers that come to buy from her. She has bitterly lamented over the price of corn. She has also called on the government to come and intervene and make things better for them in this market. So we are still at Agege market and we are still going to talk to other foodstuff sellers in this market. So come with me, let's check others out. Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
How are you doing, ma?
I'm fine.
Okay, so what's your name?
My name is Mrs. Abidemi Regwade.
Okay, so Mrs. Abidemi, what do you sell in this market?
I'm a vegetable seller.
So tell us the kind of vegetables that you sell in the market.
I'm selling tete, shoko, ewedu, igbo, bitter leaf.
So how has business been since the beginning of this year for you?
Our business is not going well though. Everything is too cost. This effort before is 200 naira. We dey tie am 200, 100 now, but now it's 500. If you want to cook a before, if you have 2,000 naira, you can cook it. But now, that one no work. See for 500. See, 500 naira. If me, I want cook am now, I go buy 2. If I buy it for 1,000, I remain 1,000. But you think I want use that 1,000 naira buy? Say na pepper, oh yeah, the fish we are go use cook am, local beans, everything. This market is not going well at all.
So how do you sell all this? When people come to buy, what's the price that you give them?
It's 500. Ewedu 2 is 500. Now small one with the tie 200. It's not less than that. As the person wey wan buy big one, we dey sell big bunch 3,000, 3,500.
Okay. So as a last month, did you sell it for the same price?
Last year,
last month.
Now the same price. This is January. Now 500 with the tie. Since last year, gone sef. Before, ewedu we dey buy am 12,000 naira, 7,000, 8,000. But now ewedu is 20, 24, 30,000. Even gone sef we dey buy 40,000 naira for 1 dozen.
So what makes the price increase like this?
They say fuel.
Oh.
If they carry am come from markets, e no cost too much for farm o. Shebi you know say na now we dey in rainy season now. This leaf supposed to plenty now, but the expensive of motor wey dem go bring am come here na im dey make it cost. If dem full one motor, dem go collect 200, 150 for her hand. No be on this top of effort na im dem go put am. That is why e cost.
You know now that there are a lot of people that sell the same thing with you in this market. So how are you coping? That there are people that are selling the same thing. How are you coping in the market?
We are coping. Everybody where they pass, and we go they call them say, Auntie, come, what do you want to buy? You green day here, chocolate day here. My sister too go cut, but any one of us go follow by. That is why we dey cope.
So is there anything you want the government to do for you?
We want the government to increase the money for petrol. Na im dey cause this problem o. No be say market cost for farm o, e no cost o. Now wey we dey inside rainy season, make we dey buy ewedu 24,000. 2,000 naira for dozen. One bunch 2,000 naira. How are we going to sell it? This sucker before is 8,000 naira, 6,000. Even we dey buy 5,000 naira, but now it's 18,000 naira. One bunch is 1.5. Make them receive the petrol, comot the subsidy, make everything go down. This effort, if there is petrol now, make them dey sell am 50 naira or 60 naira. Shey if dem bring a fuck up, dem go say dem wan collect 150. For full load, dem no go collect am.
So for how long have you been selling it in this market?
E don tey o. E don reach 20 years.
20 years?
Yes.
So now if you compare that time that you used to sell and now, how has the business been to them?
Business no go well at all. As you stand now, which person you see make you come buy market now? Shebi you no see anybody. Before, as you stand like this, I no go answer you concept because I no go get chance. I go dey cut. I go dey find another person wey go buy am because there go plenty for my front. So no market no move at all now.
Okay, ma, Eshema. We have heard what Mrs. Abidemi had to say concerning the vegetables that she sells. She has told us the different types of vegetables that she sells, ranging from tete to shoko and the rest. And she has also told us the different prices. She says she sells 500 naira for a bunch. She has also compared how the price she used to sell as a last year and last month. She also compared about how she started selling over 20 years ago, and she has said that the business now is not even moving as it used to move before. So she has called on the government to come and intervene, to come and help them reduce the cost of fuel and make things better for them in this market. Let's go and check other vendors. Good morning, ma.
Good morning.
How are you, ma?
Fine.
So what's your name?
My name is Shola Jato.
Okay. So what do you sell in this market?
Pepper.
Pepper and what else?
Pepper and tomato, bawa, shombo, tatase.
Okay, so how has business been for you since the beginning of this year?
Business it come down. Dear now. It come down small. By the time it cost well. Now it come down small. But tell them kí ló ń pè ìjọba president government epo petrol come down. If the petrol come down, market go come down. Yeah.
Okay, so for how long have you been selling pepper and tomatoes in this market?
Past 30 years.
30 years? So if you compare that time that you started selling 30 years and now, which one is better?
Before it's better. Now it's no good.
Okay, so where do you buy your pepper and tomatoes from?
My 12, before my 12. Now my 12.
Okay, so when people come and buy from you, how do you sell it? What's the price that you sell it?
This one 4,000. This one 1,000. This one 500. This one 2,000. This one 1,000. This one 1,500. This one 1,000.
Okay. As a last month, did you sell it for the same price?
Last month, this one na 5,000. Now 4,000.
So now it has increased.
No, it has
reduced. Okay. So those times that it usually increase, what makes it increase? What causes the increase?
Petrol.
Okay. So like how much do they sell it for you from that my 12 or Ilepo?
If you go my 12. Basket like this. Basket. That basket for my 12. 3,000. If in a Ilepo 1,000. one basket ni o.
So what are the problems you face selling it in this market? You know that there are a lot of people that sell the same thing that you sell in this market. So how are you coping? How do you cope?
Báwo lẹ ṣe máa ń ṣe ẹ máa ń rí ta dáadáa bí ibi tẹ́lẹ̀ tí kò ṣe ìdíkọ̀ lẹ́ ń tà?
If the petrol come down, kí ló ń pa àwọn olóko?
Farmers.
Farmers go come down.
They will bring
Because of petrol, of course.
So what do you want the government to do for you in this market?
Petrol
they should reduce.
come down, reduce petrol. If you reduce, market go reduce.
Eshima, thank you, ma. We have heard what Miss Shola had to say concerning the price of tomatoes and pepper that she sells at Agege. She has told us that she gets her tomatoes and pepper from Maitob or Elek, but she's also giving us the different prices in which she sells all these things. And again, she has called on the government to come and intervene. She has complained that the reason for the increase in price of tomatoes and pepper is because of the increase in the price of fuel. She has called on the government to come and reduce the price of fuel so that things can get better for them in the market. We are not done. Let's check out other traders in this market. Let's go. Good morning, sir.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ wa kú ojúmọ́.
How are you doing, sir?
Àlàáfíà la wà.
Okay, so what's your name?
Orúkọ mi ni Mr. Kabiru Babatunde Bọ́láníwà.
Okay, so what do you sell in this market?
Ọjà tí mò ń tà náà ni à ń ṣe àpáta lórí màálù, lórí ẹran tá ń tà lójoojúmọ́ ni iṣẹ́ tí à ń ṣe tá yàn láàyò. Òun náà ló wà níwájú wa yìí.
Okay, so how has business been for you since the beginning of this year?
Láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ọdún yìí, láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tá kọ́kọ́ ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní àárọ̀ ọjọ́ ọjà yẹn kò wọ́n. Gbogbo bá ṣe ń kó wá fún àti báwa náà ṣe ń rà bá ṣe ń tà ó wà ní ìrọ̀rùn ní dọ́gbandọ́gba. Ṣùgbọ́n ní àwọ̀dé ní àsìkò tá a wà yìí nǹkan yẹn tí wọ́n bí ìlọ́po 3 sí ìlọ́po 4 sórí ara wọn débi wípé àánú Ọlọ́run ni à ń rí jẹ lórí rẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run àlàáfíà àti ẹ̀dùn tá a rí dáàmú lórí gbogbo ara wa àti gbogbo àwọn ẹbí lórí gbogbo aráàlú lápapọ̀.
So for how long have you been selling meat in this market?
Ní tí mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí mo ti ń ṣiṣẹ́ ìfún ara mi tó mo ti dọ̀gá láti March 27 ní 27/3/1997 ni mo ti bẹ̀rẹ̀.
1997.
Ni mo ti di ọ̀gá fún ara mi tí mo ti ń tà. Ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ gangan mo bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní October 28 1991 tí mo wá di ọ̀gá fún ara mi ní March 27 1997.
Okay, that's a very long time. Now, if you compare that time when you started selling, and now, and if you compare the business that time and market that time, how has it been? Do you prefer the way it was as at that time or now?
Ní gbogbo àsìkò ìgbà táwọn wí yẹn Ọlọ́run fún wa ní dáadáa ṣe tó pọ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n lásìkò yìí à ń dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run lórí tá a ti ṣe sílẹ̀ tí ó bàjẹ́. Gbogbo eléyìí sì ní kàtà Ọlọ́run ní arẹ́rẹ́ bí àbàdẹ́ tó rere ń bẹ̀ á tún máa dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run pa ti ṣe dáadáa nínú ẹ̀sẹ̀ yìí. Òun ni tó kúta ń jẹ nínú ẹ̀mí ìsìn. Orí gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n ní ìlọ́po 4 5 àbí jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ gan sí bó ṣe wà tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀.
Tell us the price that you sell this meat for people.
Irú eléyìí báyìí sí aláfẹ́ tàbí eléyìí sí ní lórí igbá báyìí à ń tà níbi àbí 35,000. Irú àwọn eléyìí báyìí à ń tà níbi àbí 7,000. Irú eléyìí báyìí àti tàbá wọn ní kílò lóhun tiẹ̀ àti là ń ta kílò ní 7.5. Ó lè jẹ́ bí àbí 1 kilo àbí kó jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Tàbí lè sá máa lọ bí àbí 8,000 10,000. Wáyé pé tẹ́lẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀ ni ààrẹ tàbí eléyìí 2.5 lọ. Látìgbà tí nǹkan ò tí ì dà báyìí a lè tàbí bí 2.5 sí 3,000 naira lọ.
So what's the cheapest price anybody can buy meat from you? For you.
Bí Ọlọ́run bá yẹ fún oníkálukú lágbára ni o torí a fún wọn pé dandan iye tó oníkálukú bá mú wá lágbára wọn bá ṣe gbé àti ń tà fún wọn. Òun ṣe pé dandan bí torí a lè sọ pé ẹni tó bá bẹ̀rù ní 1,000 tí ó yẹ àtẹ̀ntó ní 2,000 naira kò ṣe nǹkan kan náà la máa gé fún wọn. Bí owó oníkálukú bá ṣe mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ náà la ṣe ń tà fún wọn. Àlàyé tí mo lè sọ lórí ẹ̀ nìyẹn. Torí ẹni tó bá lágbára 10,000 kò lè ro ní 15,000. Ẹni bá dẹ̀rọ lágbára 2,000 naira dèdè bí owó ẹ̀ bá ti mọ náà la ṣe máa ń tà fún wọn.
Okay, so what are the challenges you face selling meat in this market?
Kò sí ìmọ̀ràn kankan tí mo lè gba gbogbo àwọn tó wà náà ní pé torí gbogbo wa náà la kọ́ iṣẹ́ yìí tá a kọ́ yanjú, ṣùgbọ́n àdúrà tí ká máa bẹ lọ́ọ̀ ni pé kọ́lọ́hún ṣàánú wa kọ́dẹ̀ bá wa fún àwọn ìjọba wa lọ́wọ́ kí wọ́n ràn wá lọ́wọ́ bí gbogbo nǹkan ṣe gbówó sókè yìí yóò ṣe wálẹ̀ tí yóò ṣe fi dáadáa mọ́ wa lọ́wọ́ ìkẹ́ bá wa à ń bẹ àwọn ìjọba tá à ń bẹ lọ́ọ̀ kọ́lọ́hún ràn wá lọ́wọ́ fún alágbára láti ṣe.
Is there anything you want the government to do? Is there anything you want to tell the government?
Tí mo lè sọ fún ìjọba náà ni Ọlọ́run á ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ wọ́n bójú àánú wo àwa mẹ̀kúnnù torí lórí gbogbo nǹkan à ń gbìyànjú lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ gbogbo nǹkan ló wọ́n ṣùgbọ́n kọ́lọ́mọ á fún àwọn ìjọba wa lọ́wọ́ wọ́n ṣíjú àánú wò wá bí gbogbo nǹkan ó ṣe bẹ̀rọ̀ tí ò ní nira fún wa Ọlọ́run fara ni àwọn náà ìmọ̀ràn tí mo lè sọ fún lórí ìjọba nìyẹn pé gbogbo ọ̀nà tó bá lè gbà náà bójú àánú wo àwa mẹ̀kúnnù wọ́n ṣe fún wa àti pé lórí iṣẹ́ wa yìí náà àánú àti ìrànlọ́wọ́ tó bá lè ṣe fún wa lórí ẹ̀ táwa náà fi di dáadáa ni kí wọ́n bá gbégbèsè lórí rẹ̀.
All right, thank you very much, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
So what's your name, sir?
My name is Emmanuel.
So what do you sell in this market?
It's a foodstuff.
So what kind of foodstuffs?
Rice, raw one, rice and beans and garri, crayfish, egusi. That's all.
Okay, so can you give us the prices of these things that you've mentioned now?
Example, rice, Derika 1-2, paint 6,000. Garri, Derika 500, paint 2,500. Corn, Derika 500, paint 2,500. Crayfish, Derika 3,000, paint 12,000. Then egusi, Derika 1-2, paint 8,000. Beans, Derika 600, paint 6,000. That's how it's been.
Okay, so how has business been since the beginning of this year?
It was very tough. Market is very dull. It's very, very dull because of the prices. When you tell person the price, you now take you and go away. So that is the problem.
So what makes the price of these foodstuffs go up?
Because of the way dollar take high and about custom issue. Before rice enter Nigeria, you have to pay price before you enter. So that is because of everything now and the fuel.
So is there anything you want the government to do?
Let them remove the price of fuel. At least if fuel go down, I will appreciate. And let them remove the even customs, let them have this upon us. Because if you buy rice, money you go take clear and come Nigeria, it's too cost. So let them help us for that issue.
All right, thank you very much.
That's what I'm begging for government.
Okay, sir. All right, thank you very much, sir. We are still at Agege Market and we've talked to different traders of different things. They've told us about the things they sell. We talked to those that sell rice, beans, fish, turkey, chicken, tomatoes and pepper. We've talked to a lot of them, and just know that this is just also a survey. We've helped you do a little bit of survey, so you know the kind of prices you are coming to meet here when you are coming to Agege Market. And the traders have talked to us about the prices of different things. They talked to us about how they want the government to come and intervene and help them make things better for them in this market. So that's all we can take on today's episode of Market Today on ConsumerHallaTV. I am Matilda Omenai. See you next time.
morning and welcome to Perspective on ConsumerHallaTV. A perspective as well, we'll talk about burning issues making the rounds. I'm Iri Hayomi Koneki. On today's edition of Perspective, we'll be talking about the Bank Customer Bill of Rights in Nigeria that was developed by the Central Bank of Nigeria to protect the rights and interests of bank customers. The Bank Customer Bill of Rights in Nigeria is a document developed by the Central Bank of Nigeria to protect the rights and interests of bank customers, and the bill outlines the rights and duties of bank customers, ensuring they are treated fairly and with respect. Since the early 2000s, there was a significant increase in complaints from bank customers in Nigeria, ranging from unfair charges to poor customer service. Reports by Access Holding at that time, there was no comprehensive framework to protect the rights of bank customers, leading to widespread dissatisfaction and mistrust. In response to this concerns, the CBN, Central Bank of Nigeria, recognized the need for a robust consumer protection framework and initiated the development of the bank. However, the CBN collaborated with various stakeholders, including banks, consumer advocacy groups, and regulatory agencies, to ensure that the bill addressed the needs and concerns of all parties involved. After extensive consultations and revisions, the Bank Customer Bill of Rights was finalized and published by the Central Bank of Nigeria. Meanwhile, the primary objectives of the Bank Customer Bill of Rights is to protect bank customer rights, to safeguard the rights and interests of bank customers in Nigeria, also to promote transparency and accountability. This has to do with ensuring that banks operate transparently and are held accountable for their actions, as well as enhancing customer satisfaction. This is to improve overall customer satisfaction with banking services in Nigeria. To foster a stable financial system. This has to do with contributing to the stability and development of the Nigerian financial system by establishing a clear framework for the protection of bank customers' rights. The Bank Customer Bill of Rights aims to promote a fair, transparent, and customer-centric banking industry in Nigeria. For insightful insight on the program, with me in the house this morning, I have Mr. Moshood Samotu, public analyst and creator. It's a pleasure to have you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, viewers.
Good morning. And also we have virtually we have Dr. Eddie Ademosu, banker and former president, Association of Corporate Affairs Managers of Banks, ACMB. It's a pleasure to have you, Dr. Eddie Ademosu. Okay, all right. I guess we're having network issues. So, Mr. Moshood, let me start with you. Let's help the Nigerian consumers to understand this new initiative from the CBN. What is this Bill of Rights? What is it all about by the CBN? What is the importance of this bill? And what is exactly set to achieve?
Good to thank you for having me this morning. I just want to tell you that the Bill of Rights being put forward by the CBN is not actually new. It has been in existence for more than 2 decades right now, but just that because of the evolving development in the banking industry and the relationship that the banks want to build with their customers, and if you just go by the recent experience of what customers are experiencing with the banks, the CBN now think they need to be more responsive to the yearnings of the public. That is why they have come up now to recharge, so to say, to give life to what they already have before, and to take care of the development that have taken place between when it was initiated and now. I guess this probably will have been informed by the feedback they are having from customers and series of complaints that they are having from the customers. So the bill of rights that is being put forward right now is not actually new, but I just give you flavor to it. They want to give a life to it by codifying it and make people to be more conscious of their duties and responsibilities. Meanwhile, the bill is not just having to do with what customers will expect from their banks. It's equally two-edged sword. It's equally place a burden on the customers, their duties to their banks as well. It's a two-point thing, but primarily it is a bill that probably wants to let the public know their rights, what is to expect from their banks when they have interactions. And so it is good that the CBN as a regulatory body is taking it upon itself now to be more responsive to its responsibilities by ensuring that the bank customers expend the best practices. This is going to instill confidence in the system, and at the same time is going to make the inclusiveness with the CBN is preaching more appealing. And of course, bank is now, everybody is now a bank customer. Actually, everybody is a bank customer with the advent of fintech and what have you. So the challenges of banks are getting more, so which means they need to be more responsive to the development. So quite good. It's a decision that CBN has started to take, and I think it's a good direction. It will create sense of awareness for the people, for the public. So it is a good thing that's coming up at this very point in time.
Thank you for saying it's not a new bill. They're just adding flavor, because a lot of consumers are thinking when they heard the new bill, they're thinking, what bill are they trying to, evolve out? And while talking the other time, you made mention of duties of the consumer to bank. What are the duties of the consumer to bank?
Thank you very much. When we are, there's no responsibility that doesn't go with duties. Understand? It's a two-way thing. Number one, apart from what you expect your bank to do for you, you equally have a responsibility. I'll give an example. If as a customer, it's your duty to have financial education. Understand? You should know that when you collect a loan, for example, from the bank, you must pay back. But the money is not a gift. If the bank gives you a financial instrument, it's your responsibility to keep it. And at the same time, if you have a login detail to your bank application, it's your duty to keep it. Okay, as simple as your ATM card, it's your duty to make sure that it is well kept, that your password is well kept. Am I getting me? It is your duty to ensure that when you collect, when the bank say do this, you respond and do what they ask you to do. Understand? So it is two-edged something. So it's not just probably what the bank holds you. You equally hold your bank in order to make sure that the relationship is effective and it's mutually rewarding. So we have you as a bank customer, you have a responsibility. Likewise, your bank equally has responsibility. But most of us, we talk more about what the bank needs to do for us without thinking about what we need to do as well.
Interesting. What's significant? Okay, we have Dr. Eddie. It's a pleasure to have you. Good morning, Dr. Eddie.
Yeah, good morning. Nice to also be on this program.
Good morning, Dr. Eddie. It's a pleasure to have you on the program. Dr. Eddie Ademosu is an ex-banker and former president, Association of Corporate Affairs Managers of a Bank. It's a pleasure to have you on board. It's an honor.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's start the conversation now. Let's start with this. Let the Nigerian consumer understand what this new initiative from the CBN is all about and what they're about to achieve with this bill.
Well, what I've acronymed or I've tagged as NBCBR, which is Nigerian Banking Consumers or Customers Bill of Rights, is a comprehensive document outlining the settlement, the entitlements, and the protections available to banking customers. In essence, the Bill of Rights aims to protect consumers of financial products, services, ensuring equitable treatment, and fostering consumer-centric financial environment. I've tried to liken this bill to the Bill of Rights in America. You talk about the Bill of Rights, which is a fundamental document that lines the first 10 amendments to the United States Constitution, which guarantees essential rights and freedom for the citizens. But this time around, we are talking about the banking customer and consumers of financial services products. So, this bill essentially gives the customers rights, protection, and freedom. But if you look at it in detail, it also highlights the duties of the customers to the banks and the financial institutions. In essence, I overheard Moshood talking about the two yeah, that is true. It's like two sides of the coin. And as we all know, of course, we talk about rights. Rights comes with responsibility. So it's essential that we understand the fact that the bill addresses both sides. Your rights as customer and your duties as customer to the banking institution. So in essence, it weighs more on the side of consumers, and that's why we talked about the bill being one that fosters consumer-centric financial environment. That is the first thing that we are beginning to treat customer as king. Okay, we also say in the banking industry that treat your customer as a king. Yes, he is a king because he holds the bread and the knife. So in that essence, this bill brings to fore the centrality, the power that a customer holds in financial transaction business. And of course, it applies to all economies. So this is one bill that has come to address the rights and freedom of a typical Nigerian banking customer.
All right, Dr. Hediade, I'm glad for that, and I'm happy that you said you overheard when Mr. Moshood Isamoto was talking about the duties of the consumer to bank. I would like to ask you now, what are the duties of the consumer to bank, and how significantly different is this bill from the existing consumer rights as already established under the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission?
Okay, let me quickly take it from the rear, and that is to talk about the existing laws that protects the consumers and customers. These laws that have been in existence are complementary. I must say that the consumer protection law complements essentially this very important Bill of Rights, except that in this case, the financial sector services is being highlighted effectively. Okay, so and of course, you will expect that there will be overlap in terms of the critical areas required in these laws. So generally, including the digital data protection law, they all tend to look at the customer as the center of all activity. So it's right to conclude that from all ends, we are working towards ensuring that the consumers and the customers are treated appropriately within the obligations of our constitution and the available law. And having said that, we must, like we rightly said, that the consumers too and the customers also have duties to offer or render to their bank financial institution. For instance, there is need for you to understand that you have financial obligations, and you also have the duty to be able to gain knowledge and understanding of the financial services. Today, the financial literacy level is very low. And that is to even say that those that are literate enough have been caught up in the web of not understanding financial product services or financial transactions. Really. So, a whole lot of an area that we will need to begin to understand. So, as a bank customer, you need to keep abreast of developments in the sector so that you are not treated even as king as you should be. You are not treated like a slave. So it is important as a duty to have knowledge of the financial issues, financial products and services. And of course, also, you also know that it is your duty to also protect your instrument and all other information. I also was lucky to listen to Mochi, who talked about, for instance, even as little as your ATM card. Some of us can be very careless. We can toy with information relating to our ATM, sharing our PIN number, that is personal identification number, with third parties, which is not even necessary. And so you hold that duty to keep your financial instruments inside. Of course, one of the other things that comes as a duty to you is also the fact that you need to provide factual information at the point of inquiries. Some of us will think that by not being truthful to some of the information that they give out, they don't really mean it. Affects the data that the institution will need to work with. For instance, if we want to access a loan, basic questions relating to your biodata will be required. Your incomes and earnings will be required. And so if you juggle the figure, you'll be affecting the outcome of the process to reach conclusion, and then it ultimately leads to granting of loan that shouldn't be granted in the first place. So it is your
over 63.54% in 2023, reaching over 10 million compared to 6.12 million.
Almost about 74%, which means the inclusivity, the financial inclusivity has increased geometrically back from, that is the statistics as at 2023. As at 2020, as at the year of 2020, the figure was less than 60%. So when you that with the level of complaints that you begin to experience nowadays, it is expected, it is justified. There is an increase in the number of inclusion, which means more Nigerians now make use of financial services and they have access to financial products and services. So the number of complaints that will naturally come from such increase will also be as a measure of what we are beginning to do, which is a good development though. However, it is at the metrics in resolving this conflict. The brand communication will say talk about the complaint resolution mechanism. So we agree that banks at various levels have also been devising methods to address it. It is only when such banks couldn't get as fast as possible to the contentment of the consumers or customers that they can then begin to escalate to the regulatory authority. For me, in the past 5 years, the resolutions mechanisms have worked fairly better. It's something that you can call almost about 60% for the banking industry. But the issue is that even knowledge level, literacy level of our consumers or customers is still very low. There are issues, resolutions that can be resolved at their ends In PR, we talk about PR financial literacy. If you don't understand basic requirements of why certain things need to be done in terms of services and products, and you venture into, you create complaints, you create clog, or you create noises along the channel for you to be able to get the best of the service you want. So what we are saying in this regard is that the complaint can increase, but simultaneously the regulations are also being worked on. It will be very difficult at that level to begin to talk of the mechanism being put in place by each of the banks. But aggregately, we know that, like you also highlighted in the statistics, at some point the complaints were just minimal. But like I also have alluded now, with more inclusion, with more people being dragged into the usage of financial services, we do expect that the complaint level will also slightly increase. But I want to believe that that is something that is being addressed by the appropriate authority. But suffice to say that what drives much of these is enlightenment, awareness, education, training at all levels, both within and outside, and not to the customers. That is where body like currently the Association of Corporate Affairs Managers of Banks will need to intensify their efforts in the areas of advocacy, enlightenment, education, and being able to take on activities that would bring to fore the knowledge gap that exists in the financial service sector, particularly to the customers. And so we expect that as we get more sophisticated, more means of mechanism to resolve complaints will be unfolded. Last time, the ACAM, the Association of Corporate Affairs Managers, highlighted the importance of AI, artificial intelligence, in resolving issues. So it will get to the point that even before the customer complains, appropriate mechanisms will have resolved to some great extent what currently exists as complaint by customers.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy, for your take. Mr. Moshood, over to you now. Let's talk about this. Let's examine this bill in parts, which says Nigeria bank customers has the right to be informed, right to choose, right to safety, right to privacy and confidentiality, and right to redress, among others. These are very fundamental areas that touched on the pillars of banking. Does it mean that Nigerian banks have not been fair in protecting customers or consumer along those paths this while?
Thank you very much. As I said earlier, this protective mechanism platform that CBN is just talking about has been there. But if they have been very effective, probably we'll be talking of something different now. But we can't blame them that it's never too late to do the right thing. Now, this right they are putting up right now, the right of the customers, it just suggests that if a research is done in Nigeria today about the reputation of Nigerian banks, honestly, I think they may not have a good grade. That's what I'm saying about Nigerian bank. That suggests that the mechanism already in place are not very effective. I will give an example. Okay. KPMG did a report in 2024 December, which was released last year. They said that customer relation mechanism by banks remain the weakest link in the financial system, the weakest link, which means they are not effective. So bringing them up right now, and is a way to drive that they become more active in enforcing it. So if it's not just being there, how do we enforce it? That is very important. That is why complaint they receive in the annual report, so that we guide the CBN to see whether we are making progress or not. So as a stakeholder, all of us have responsibilities. The mechanism put in place to activate the right of individuals, of bank customers, they are there. But the CBN responsibility is to enforce that they work. That is what he's trying to say.
All right. Thank you for that. Let's talk about this now. How save our bank customers information in this era? of growing digital fraud, because bank consumers have been made to bear the brunt of losses arising from the digital fraud, and now with this bill guarantee some level of balance or strengthen consumer safety. And as well, Dr. Reddy was talking the other time, he made mention of AI. And how can AI be of help to bank industry to eradicate any fraudulent activities?
Thank you. There are two questions there. Number one, let me take from the AI. How the AI can help to, AI is human intelligence. I mean, intelligence because from artificial intelligence, and the idea is that to make the system faster and that it more secured at the same time more smooth, and then because the idea is that you get them right, and then there is a system in place to put in order, and there's a mechanism that probably you can activate as an individual to resolve most of the complaints. So the issue of artificial intelligence is now taking over processes that are humanly done, that are done by woman. But the issue is that it's not a human being. It's been programmed. It's been programmed to detect errors and to handle cases. But it is what we feed in that we get in. And meanwhile, there is no product of woman that is very perfect. And the things are evolving. As the issues are evolving, technology continues to evolve. So one of the feedback, one of the byproduct of that technology is the second question you asked me, the safety consumer data and their funds in the banks. That leads to the second one. Now, the era of the digital banking, honestly, I suppose a challenge. The challenge that is the way to go. The second level of it is that it is open to many things. Understand, like fraud and what have you. Because the technology you are having, somebody somewhere is ready to decode it. And that is why banks constantly upgrading their system, upgrading the applications, and encrypting the word and the whole process so that it's very difficult to visit, to break into. Number one is that they ensure that their sites are very secured. There are many unsecure sites that are there. So as a customer, as a bank customer, if you visit a site, you want to use your card, if you visit a site that is unsecured, you need to run away. That's a problem. If you put out a password, how strong is your password? Understand? If you do how do you link your password together? If you reach a fish account, a fish call, do you respond to it? If you don't, you initiate a transaction and you receive a code, why do you need to activate that code? Are you getting me? So the education is have to be continued. The information technology technicians, they are all to be up their game as well, so that they can think ahead of the first start. But I'm telling you, it's not a local problem. It's a challenge all over the world about the issue of digital fraud. Understand? Even well-developed economies who have been using this digital banking for over the years, they still have these challenges. And even at a global scale, it is an issue. And I believe the ITU, they are equally taking record of all these things. But by and large, the issue more is that you as a customer, there's much you can do to protect yourself. Understand? And if anything happens, the technology can even trace it where it happens. Understand? That is the essence of it all. But as a customer of the bank, you have a duty to ensure that you protect yourself from digital fraud. And if it happens, there are levels to escalate it to your bank primarily and then to the CBN. And they can then trace how it happens. And that form the basis of how the banks, form the basis of what the bank needs to do next. That is why you keep banks regularly updating their system or bringing the system, as educating you, do not expose this, do not visit unsecure sites and what have you. So there are a lot of things that go along that.
All right, thank you. Dr. Reddy, do you agree with what Mr. Moshood Samotu is saying? And as well, let's look at the area of enforcement. How are these rights of consumers being monitored and enforced within the banking system?
Well, generally, as an ex-banker like myself, Moshood is right to a great extent. I just need to add also that what we have currently is meant to achieve greater output in terms of compliance. The truth of the matter is that the bill will definitely strengthen customer service. And what is central to you and I as a consumer of banking financial products and services is for us to be well served, quality service, and safety in terms of security of our deposits and other instruments. And of course, also, it will standardize charges. You see, we've had so much talk and discussion and discourse around the fact that the charges in the banking industry are outrageous, levies and all sorts of fees being put together. One of the fallouts and the positive fallout of this bill is to the effect that with time, and I want to be very cautious in measuring that, with time we will gravitate towards standardized charges. It's not as Bank A is charging 10,000 while Bank B is charging 5,000. Just like we have in the network world, the telecommunication world today. So, and also to underscore what you said, the effectiveness of this bill, in order to be favorable to consumers, must also be consistently and constantly monitored by the regulatory bodies, particularly the Central Bank of Nigeria. Yes, they have agencies set up to look at this, particularly the Protection Council agency. But then the banks and financial institutions fall under the CBN, and it is important that they do not let go. When I emphasize do not let go, they must stay on top of the fact that serious complaints must be resolved within a specified period of time. And where that is not done, appropriate sanctions should be applied. Okay. I also will need to dwell a little bit more on the technology and customer service role of today. You see, technology, like we said of the bill itself, consists of two sides of the coin. As much as we look at the positive sides of technology in driving financial services and products, we must also begin to be wary of the limitations and the challenges, particularly in an environment like ours that has infrastructural challenges. So, not too much of optimism to be expressed as we are as of today. But we believe as we progress into the reform in the economy, we are likely to begin to see better and more secured applications of the technology in all forms. So, generally, I will just position that we have been lately lucky to have this bill highlighted. We've been there to some extent, but like I have taken this to the Bill of Rights in America, when you push out a commitment like this, even when it is not backed by law, you are under moral obligation to be sure that you just don't push out a document for the purpose of the shell. You must ensure that it is effectively implemented, and that is why we keep going back to the CBN, who has initiated this bill at this point in time, to ensure that all stakeholders speak to it, and then we get the best out of it. Just in the interest of all of us, at one or the other, you will become a bank customer, and so there is no way that nobody can run away from it. Either you are in practice now or outside of the practice, or whether you are operating as a player or as you will need to understand the fact that it is in the interest of individuals and generally in the interest of the economy for this bill to succeed, and that is why some of us are clamoring for the fact that the CBN should not let go, should push further and ensure appropriate delivery.
Thank you for your take. Just as you said, we are hoping for a proper implementation of this bill. Cost of the time, Mr. Moshe Disamotu, now, what more should the regulatory authority do to standardize and regularize banking services in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. Naturally, this is a business of competition. Bank is a business of competition. So there's a minimum level of standard that the banks will operate. For example, the central bank now being a regulatory authority has come up with a list of charges that bank must charge per product. For example, if you withdraw ATM from an offsite ATM machine, that's a charge that must appropriate. So that one, aspect of bank is a standard thing. If you obtain a loan, for this brand of loan, this is a number of charges you must require. If you have issues with your bank, the complaint will be resolved within the frame of time, which means there are some level of standardized rates, standardized time that issues must be resolved. They already in existence. The only thing is that if you apply for a customer a bespoke product, you may pay by different rates. But this is that whatever generic products that are offered, the CB already has a guideline that guides such product. It is you now as a bank customer that need to find out, or is part of your duty to seek this information. But primarily your own bank is supposed to give you. But if you think you have a doubt, you can equally seek the redress. Get into the escalate it. You want to know what the CBN rates are in respect of this product, and then you can take from there. And if your bank is not helping you, you can escalate to central bank. That's what it means. Understand? Of course, the FCPC is there, but the FCPC offers generic coverage to all customers, whether it be network, whether it be telecom customer, bank customer, other shades of customers. That's what FCPC does. But for the fact that for that sector where you are seeking a redress, where you have issue with, you go to a specific regulator for that business. That is what it is. But by and large, the CBN has a standardized rates and standardized practice. And before, apart from the manual of procedure which every bank operates in, the CBN regulation takes precedence above others.
What is your assessment of the role of technology in customer service protection and safety?
Now, the technology have been doing a lot. For example, right now, if you input your age, if you input a password that probably is not correct, the technology will bounce you back. So which means you cannot force yourself into it. And at times when you log in a detail, after 2 or 3 times, you are bad. Go and visit your bank to face your registration. That is a safety that have been put up on it. Am I correct? And there's even a limit. You can put a limit on your bank account that there's a limit to which can be taken out of your bank for this period. Understand now? Which means technology has put a caveat on it. So if somebody wants to break in, technology will not allow you to break in. So technology is doing a lot. But as I tell you, as you are doing that, some bad guys are equally doing things to break it. So that's why bank continuously doing upgrading their system and equally educating the bank customer what they need to do. Understand? And that is why, as simple as SMS, if you receive an alert from your bank and that is not yours, you didn't initiate it, before you call us so that the person won't go for the next one, you can block your machine, your ATM, you can block your account from your phone.
The phone.
So that I don't need to go to the bank. You can then go to the bank and complain. But before then, by the time you receive the first alert for debit not initiated by you now, technology has put, you can stop that thing. Understand? And then at times, if you put in as a clause in your bank, please, any money below the social amount, call me for confirmation. These are the steps that took in place. So, of course, there is going to be infrastructure left and right, but there are mechanisms equally that have been put in place. And the things are evolving. To this technology, what it was 10 years ago is not the same thing right now. So, as the thing are you.
The truth of the matter is that some of us did the research that is comparative in nature. For instance, my thesis is essentially on banks' branch management between a period of 1996, just before the ACAM was formed, and then 10 years after, when ACAM had taken root. And so the research conclusively indicated that bank services have improved greatly. And it was essentially attributed to the impact of ICT generally. So we need to begin to talk about information communication technology, not to talk of technology alone. And so the parting shot here is this: that going forward with better innovations and applications of ICT, more tactics and modems and mechanisms, we will begin to see better results in private, particularly in the Nigerian context. I'm not equating it or benchmarking anyone or with any part of the world, but honestly, the Nigerian banks have come of a great positive impact. Nobody can take that away recently. Now, to my parting shot is simply that consistently, what we lack in terms of connecting the next amongst stakeholders in the banking industry is the need to apply what some of us have said you call ARER, adequacy, relevancy, and efficiency of usage of policies. There's always a disconnect. That is the major issue. Now we're talking about Bill of Rights today. How consistent are we over time? How efficient are we in ensuring that we don't let lose of the nitty-gritty of the game? And how relevant are they with time? We need to begin to address all this and ensure that going forward we are at par with what the world is dictating. Sometimes we spoke about financial inclusion. It will surprise you that as of today, Nigeria is still far below some African countries in terms of elsewhere it has been over 100%. We are still struggling to attain 90%. We are like 74% down, and that is not too good. So it means that we have a lot to catch up to make. So we need to be able to connect the dots and link the various gaps. Like I said, it is among the triple of the stakeholders: the consumers, the customers, the operators, the regulators. And with that, I'm quite sure that we'll do more than what we are doing today.
Right, we're hopeful. Thank you so much, Dr. Reddy Ademoshu, for your time and contribution on the program. Please do well to enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much for having me. And to my brother, Moshood, nice to see you all over again. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. Thank you very much.
All right, have a beautiful and pleasant day, Dr. Reddy. Now, Mr. Moshood, let's have your parting shot as well.
The banking is a serious business. If you don't get right in the banking industry, you may not get back in the rest of the sectors of the economy. So, which means customers is, and when you place that with the customers as king, all the stakeholders involved, especially the regulatory authority, the banking operators, the bankers, they need to do more, ensuring that they get it right, because that is only when they can be able to deliver their role in growing the economy. Because when the confidence is not there, their image will be eroded, and the economy, their impact in the overall economy will be affected. Because if you don't get it right in the banking sector, you can be sure many things will go astray in the economy. So which means the central banking operators need to up their games, while customers also need to know their duties as well in their interactions with their financial institutions. That's what I have to say.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Moshood Isamotun. He's a public analyst and a commentator. Thank you so much for coming on the program. We appreciate your contribution, your time, and your quota. I'm very sure all these things you've said, if all measures are being put in place, very sure the banking industry will be up to task, and there will not be issue for consumers or customers to be complaining about so many the satisfactions activities that has to do with the banking industry. Thank you so much. Now we have to round things up on perspective today. We appreciate you for being there, and most especially you as a consumer. You have a duty obligation to the bank. It's vice versa. As the bank has obligations to you as a consumer, you yourself, you have some things to do, necessary steps to take to the bank as well. Thank you so much. And for the bill, because a lot of consumers, there have been a lot of reactions. People have misquoting it. That what bill? It's something that has been existing for a very long time. Just like, I'm using the word Mr. Moshood used earlier on when he started the program. He said they're just adding flavor to it. So they're just adding flavor to it. Thank you so much for being there. Another beautiful edition of Perspective. We'll be back again tomorrow. I am Irea Yomikuleke. Stay with us for the rest of the day. Hello everyone, thank you so much for still being there with us. Welcome to ConsumerHallaTV News at 10 this morning. We'll be right back. Now we begin this news with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Please, we'll be right back.
Hey there, do you know in the world today, everyone is a consumer, and as consumers, we all have the right to be heard.
In Nigeria today, as a consumer, you have all right to product information, right to fair pricing, right to return goods, right to product labeling, right to fair dealings, and a lot more.
Well then, have you heard about the new media channel?
ConsumerHallaTV.
ConsumerHallaTV. ConsumerHallaTV.
At ConsumerHallaTV, our goal is to inform and educate consumers in Nigeria with insightful news alongside development within the fast-paced world of consumers through well.
Apologies for that breaking transmission. We begin this hour news with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as he arrived in the country of Brazil early Monday for a two-day state visit aimed at deepening Nigeria-Brazil relations. According to the news agency of Nigeria NAN, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu was received by Carlos Duarte, Secretary for Africa and Middle East, Carlos Jose Moreno Gacete, Ambassador of Brazil to top Nigerian government officials, including Bianca Odumego Juku, Minister of State for Foreign Affairs. Then others dignitaries spotted at the event are Minister of Information, Mohammed Idris, Minister of Trade and Investment, Dr. Jumoke Oduwole, Minister of Livestock Development, Idi Meha, and Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Uche Naji, among others. And reports that the Nigerian leader is scheduled to meet with President Luiz Lula da Silva and other senior Brazilian officials on Monday at the Palacio da Alvorada Alps. President Bola Tinubu's agenda will now focus on boosting cooperation and aviation, agribusiness, livestock, security, trade, and cultural exchange with Latin America's largest economy. And the key discussions will also explore partnership in agriculture, energy transition, regional security, and areas of mutual strategic interest. Let's talk weather and climate matters here. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, forecast rainy and thundery conditions across Nigeria from today, August the 25th, to Wednesday, August the 27th. Report for the stated that thunderstorms will moderate rainfall are expected for part of the northern state, including Jigawa State, Zamfara State, Kano State, Kaduna State, Bauchi, Yobe State, and Katsina State, starting from today, with afternoon rains extending to Kebbi State, Adamawa State, and Taraba State. And IMET also said flash floods are possible in Bauchi State, Jigawa State, Katsina State, Kaduna State, and Kano State during this period. And central states like Niger State, Benue State, the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Plateau State, and Nasarawa State will see morning cloudiness and light to moderate rainfall and risk of flooding in part of Plateau State. Let's move to the south here. According to NIMET, where they said light to moderate rains will affect Ondo State, Imo, Abia State, Enugu State, Ebonyi State, Anambra State, Edo State, Delta State, Bayelsa State, River State, Cross River State, and Akwa Ibom State. According to the agency, Tuesday will bring sunny skies with patchy clouds to the north, while thunderstorms and rain persist in part of Adamawa State, Taraba, and neighboring states. Meanwhile, central and southern regions will continue to experience moderate rainfall. However, by Wednesday, northern states will have sunny mornings with thunderstorms developing later, while the central region will see cloudy skies and moderate rains. It was also said that southern states, including Ebonyi State, Akwa Ibom State, River State, and Cross River State, will experience morning showers and moderate to heavy afternoon rains. NIMET thereby warned residents in flood-prone areas to activate emergency responses, avoid driving during heavy rains, secure loose objects, and take precautions against strong winds and low night-time temperatures. And it also advised disconnecting electrical appliances during storms and avoiding shelter under tall trees. Moreover, airlines operators are urged to obtain airport-specific weather reports for safe planning. For updates, residents can visit. Please, let's all endeavor to avoid situations that might lead to flooding, and let's stay safe. Thank you so much for joining us this morning at ConsumerHallaTV News. So, let's swing into other stories. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited has recorded a substantial decline in its profit after tax, dropping from 905 billion naira in June to 185 billion naira in July. And this represents a staggering 79.6% decrease in profit. The company, in its monthly report released late on Thursday the previous week, said it recorded 4.41 trillion in July, down from 4.57 trillion naira in the previous month. However, following previous reports,